icon.
Did we do it? we did do it.
All right,
Welcome, Jacki Schwarz. That's how you
Schwarz?
say it, right?
Schwarz. There's no T in my last name, so it's not Schwartz.
Oh,
but
sorry.
that's the more popular way to say it.
Yeah.
If you're everybody.
I apologize then.
It's okay. You can say it. I don't care. It's not like that important to me. I have two very misspelled names.
Your first name too?
Yeah, because I spelled Jacki Jacki, and everybody wants to put like an E
at the end.
or even a Y.
Jacki?
Yep. And there's
no
5
E?
letters. Yep. And then Jacqueline.
Did you spell it that way, or did your parents spell it that
That's
way?
when my parents decided we had to be different. Like, my sister's name is Erica. We call her Ricky, and we spell Ricky Rikki.
Oh,
Wow.
That's like Riki.
Yeah, well, people, like, waiters and stuff will call me Jacelyn when they see my credit card instead of Jacqueline, because it's
Wait a minute.
Jaclyn.
They say your name after they use your card? Have you ever done that?
No.
Yes, because when I worked at Saddle Ranch, that was a rule we had to do. Like, we had to say, like, thank you, so-and-so, and I never did it. I, like, did it, like, the first day when I was being, like, watched, and I never did it again.
I feel
thought
like
it was
that's
weird.
super invasive.
Well, also, people, like, have, like, a lot of weirdly spelled names.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm not going to be like, doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-boo.
That's just...
Especially, which saddle ranch did you work at?
I worked at the one that was at Universal that closed down.
Yeah.
Oh, it closed down?
It closed down. Like, Universal wouldn't renew their rent, and that's why they closed down.
When did it close? I feel like it was
closed
just
January 1st.
of this year?
Yeah.
Is the
okay.
building
That
still
makes
there?
sense.
I swear it is.
I bet the building's probably still there. I don't, like, no one would tell us, like, really what Universal's plan was. There's, like, a lot of rumors that it's going to be a hotel or, like, a Universal restaurant or something.
Wait, is that where you work right now?
What?
Is that where you work right now?
No.
Oh.
No, I
Okay.
just work as a personal assistant now.
You just spend a lot of time at Universal or something?
I've never been to Universal, like the park. I've only, like, it's on City Walk. Saddle Rancho was on City Walk. It wasn't in Universal.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like right outside the park, so
No,
you
I
could
know.
go...
And that was like
yeah.
my first job when I moved here. Like, the job you get to immediately, just like, so that you're not.
So you can pay rent.
Yeah, like the shitty job that you get to, like, immediately do it. And I, like, lied. I made up this whole resume. I lied on everything because I've never been a server in my life.
Dude, I did the same thing.
And it was so hard. I failed, like, the first server test, and they're like, if you don't pass, like, the next one, like, you're not going to work here.
Yeah.
And it was, like, a whole thing, and it's like, you know,
That's-
like, I didn't know how to use a POS system. I had to, like, really, like...
It was a learning curve.
Yeah, I watched a lot of videos on YouTube of how to use it.
Oh my
Really?
god,
POS
that's
system.
ridiculous.
Because I don't know, I've never used one before.
I've
been a
never used
cashier.
one either, but I started as a host at my job and then moved to server.
Yeah.
It's probably super easy, though, right? Just a host, you just...
Dude, no.
Really?
Because we don't have fucking bussers and runners. We do. The hosts
you-
are the ones that do everything.
You had to be a host and run food?
Yeah, so there'd be like 2 of us on a shift. Sometimes you'd get screwed and it'd just be
Which
you.
restaurant?
Public school, the one I work at now.
Oh, you started as a host?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And you sat people, you bussed the tables, you ran the food, you ran the drinks. I mean, everybody did that. Like, the servers were supposed to help bust their own tables and run their own food and their drinks. But when I started, all the servers were dicks. And they were just like, oh, I tip you out, so you should do all the work. And I was just, like, hustling my ass off. And I was, like, keeping the restaurant going. And now that I'm a server, I still do that. And our hosts are weaker, and you can tell.
See, we were supposed to give, like, 15% of our tips to the, like, the runners and the bussers and the bartender or whatever. And, like, you know, depending on, like, how much cash I made, like, that was how much I was gonna lie about it. And, like, I'd be more generous if I had, like, the hosts that I liked working with. But some of the hosts, like, you know, they... like, falling asleep at the thing.
Yeah, it's like, why
working
am
my
I
ass
giving you
off.
my fucking money?
This is Saddle Ranch?
This is Saddle Ranch.
Okay. That's funny because when I was thinking about moving out here, before I actually did, I was looking at the entire, like, what's it called? The City Walk?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied for, like, Margaritaville. There's, like, a little chicken place. There's, like, a crepe place.
There's a
There's a
ton
shitload of
of
places.
fucking food places.
Yeah, there's
I
a
applied
Buca di
for-
Beppo.
What?
Buca di Beppo's there.
What
Is
is
that an Italian?
That's
That's
a-
an Italian
I-
place, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
It's a family style Italian
Does that
place.
mean anything, or are they just being assholes? Like, it's boop-a-da-bip. It's Italian.
exactly
I don't know. I don't speak Italian. I mean,
It's Family Guy Italian.
yeah. When we got the news that we were all laid off, I like went around City Walk and like put my resume in everywhere, and then I was like,
You're like, hey, I used
Why
to work
did you
over there.
both apply to City Walk? Because you wanted to live near Hollywood?
Yeah.
yeah, and you get like a parking spot. Like they let you park in like the employee parking, so you don't have to like worry about like
It just
some
seemed-
restaurants are like, oh, find a spot.
It just seemed like a good place to start. You
Yeah.
know, like, because
Interesting.
before I moved out here, like, there was 2 spots that I came to in Hollywood, the Comedy Store and Universal Studios.
Oh, okay.
And, like, I just always knew that there was, like, a lot of opportunity to, like, for servers and stuff there. And since I have experience bartending and serving, I was just like, well,
And
there's a
Studio
place called
City is like
Margaritaville.
pretty good with traffic to and from, so
Yeah.
you're not like.
That's where I
Oh,
originally
interesting.
thought that I would move to. Like, before I found this apartment, I thought that I would move somewhere around, like, Universal area, just because I like that area, which I'm only, like, 5 minutes from it anyway, but,
Yeah.
you know, that's where I thought that I was going to move
That was
to.
like the last place I was going to move.
Really?
But now I'm looking for places just in this area and like North Hollywood or whatever, like all around this general vicinity, because I'm noticing that everybody that I'm hanging out with lives here, and everything that I want to do is here. But when I first moved here, I saw downtown Culver City. Have you ever seen that strip?
I've never done like anything in Culver City besides drive through it.
Oh, well, they have a downtown area. It's really small, but it's super cute. It's like a cute little. Feels like
It's like an old town?
Yeah, it feels like an old town. So I saw that and was like, oh, I need to be near this, and that's where I got my job, and that's where I lived, and that's where I've been.
I was living in a sublease in Hollywood for like the first couple months I was here, and like my only like thing in the sublease was like, can I do month to month, and can my cat live here? Because I just needed, like, I came out here for like a week, like I flew out here. And I was staying with my friend, and then I found this sublease, and like the only thing I had to do was get like a sublease so that like me and my dad, like my dad helped me move out here, that we would have a destination to drive to.
Yeah,
Wait,
not
your
just.
dad moved out here too?
No, my dad helped me move. He did the drive with me, so I wouldn't drive all the way from Florida to here.
Oh yeah, you came from Florida.
Yeah, I actually
That's
came from
right.
Chicago, but I did I did Chicago to Florida because my family was in Florida, then Florida to out here, and I lived in like Florida for like a month before moving out here.
But you grew up in Florida.
I grew up in Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and that sublease sucked. It was pretty gross. And then the guy when I left was like, "You brought in bed bugs." I'm like, I'm pretty sure I didn't
not.
bring in bed bugs because like I'm allergic to fleas, and so like I break
Oh.
out in hives if I like get flea bites. So I'm pretty sure I'd have a pretty bad reaction to bed bugs or get bitten once if I brought in a bed bug.
Which did not happen.
Yeah, so I was like, no, give me my goddamn deposit, because my deposit was $1,250.
Oh, that's the only reason he was saying you brought in bed bugs.
Yeah, he was trying to like take my money, and I was
Yeah.
like, no.
He used it on drugs, didn't have it, couldn't give it back to you.
Yeah, so.
What a piece of shit.
Yeah, and my apartment now, like, I just found on Facebook. So.
Really?
I actually, I'm on that gypsy housing or whatever.
Yeah, I
you a
was
gypsy?
on. Yeah.
That's just what it's fucking called. dude.
There's also
Wait,
like
you are a
LA.
gypsy,
No.
What is a
maybe.
gypsy?
Well, yeah, what's the definition of a gypsy?
Like a Romanov. I actually know the whole origin of
Ooh,
like the
tell
word
us.
Let's hear it.
gypsy, because back in like medieval times, or like I guess past that, probably like 100 or so, a few hundred years past medieval times, like back in Europe, like there were like the Romanovs or whatever, and they were kind of like darker skinned and like did their own thing, and then like somebody was like, yeah, they're Egyptian, and then that shortened to gypsy.
Oh, that's really what happened?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was just that was.
That's kind of a sad, or not sad, but
So it's
boring.
kind of like the whole like Christopher Columbus thing, coming here and calling
Everybody
Native Americans
Indians.
Indians. It's like the same kind of deal, and it just stuck.
lazy
And,
motherfuckers.
Actually, saying I got gypped is actually a slur because it comes from gypsy.
No
I
shit.
got gypped, gypsy.
But why was that associated with those people
What?
getting like why?
Oh, because like they moved around and they sold, I don't know, beads or I don't want to
Lived off
like
the
butcher
land
this
and
down. I've already like reached like the
You're gonna have some gypsies
peak of
coming
my
after
gypsy
you.
knowledge.
They might. But yeah, so the Facebook group is called Gypsy Housing, and it's just random people in LA will either post that they have a room or they're looking for one.
Yeah, and if you post that you're looking for one, you only get like 2 crazy people responding to
Yeah.
you. You gotta sift.
You gotta be like
You gotta be the
selling
first
something.
one. You gotta be the first one to respond to the message. Like I got really lucky with my place now. I did it on LA Housing. There's like 5 different like Facebook like LA like subleases and stuff. I got just really lucky that I was the first person to respond. Like I saw it pop up on my phone and I responded first, and I was the only person. He was like, "Well, just." You're the only person I've talked to. Do you want? And I was like, yes.
Damn, because the one that I'm looking at is it's like, I swear to God, it's like 5 minutes from here, just on the other side of the hill. It's like right there, and it's like he has a cat. It's a 2-bedroom. He has a backyard and like a porch and laundry in the place. And I'm like, can I please live here? And it's only like $1,000. I was like, please.
Is it a nice place?
It's so cute, and we have like a mutual friend on Facebook, somebody that I knew from BuzzFeed, so because he's a filmmaker, so I was like, this would be awesome, and I sent him a message, but I haven't heard anything. So
yeah, that's the problem. You have a good place, you can really like interview people for it.
Dude, we had to for this place.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
We went
Tell
through
that
some
fucking
fucking
story.
people, man. We went through before we found my roommate Martin, which is that him right there? No. I just don't. If it was, I was going to text him, say, "Hey, shut the fuck up when you come in." No. So before we found him, I was here for about a month, and the first guy that lived here and I like just interviewed like a bunch of like really weird random people.
Yeah.
We found Martin. That worked out great. When Will moved out, the first guy that was here, we had to interview like 15 different people or something like that, and there was actually this girl that like worked at the Laugh Factory as like she did stand up. She was like the talent coordinator for the Laugh Factory.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, cool. But then she was like, well, I have a cat and a dog. And then
wasn't she super fucking sketchy?
Yeah, she was like super. I don't want to like talk bad about her or anything, but like she was just like the first thing she said was like, she's like, I'm having a lot of problems with my roommates right now. Which I've come to learn in like the world of like living with roommates. It's probably the worst thing you could tell somebody when you're trying to move in somewhere.
Yeah, you want to
like,
come off as real easygoing.
Yeah, and then we had like don't mention anything about any problems you have with roommates, you know. And then we had this other guy that like was kind of cool but like off, and he like made toys for Hasbro.
Oh, that's cool. Though.
It sounds cool. But he was like
off. A pedophile.
Oh, yeah.
No, he was not a pedophile.
He might have been.
I looked at so many places when I was trying to move out of this sublease because I didn't want to do one more month, and then I had to tell him by like the first of the month if I was gonna do the next month after. So I was like gambling with like, oh, be able to find this place. And I saw so many places, and this one place I saw was like, it was in a great location. It was in West Hollywood. It was like right by that like Target complex with all those like restaurants and shit, so you could like walk to stuff, and it had like a parking space, and it was like under $1,000, and it was like my own room and my own bathroom. But the minute like I walked in, the guy was super weird. He was like late 30s and like real sketchy, and he smelled super bad, and the whole place smelled like farts. Like,
was it a nice place?
It was like it once was a nice place before it
would have been nice if he wasn't there.
The carpet was so like dingy.
Ew.
And it was like, and his old roommate who was moving out was like not there and locked his room, so I had to like wait there. Like I like immediately I was like nope, but like and I had to be like not weird about it, so I was like waiting for like half an hour watching this guy play Wii.
Wait,
he was like playing
what?
his Wii while like we were waiting for his roommate to get back so he could show me the room, and like and I wanted to be like, no, I'm not interested.
He knew he was showing the room, so he locked it before he left?
No, his roommate locked it, and like he had to wait for his roommate to come back so he could show the room.
The guy that was like
the guy who was gonna be moving out for like the room I
he
was
locked
looking
it,
at. Like,
'cause he
Why
locked
would he
it.
lock it?
Because he didn't want somebody
Probably
going through his
because
shit.
probably because the guy's like it was super weird. He was real weird.
Yeah, that's not a good sign that the roommate locks their bedroom door before they leave.
Yeah,
That's nobody does
It was
that.
so bad.
I've done
You
that.
do that?
I used to do that.
Here?
No, not here.
Oh, where?
Like when I lived with like my brother and shit.
Oh. Well, I guess
He
if
jacked
you
me all the time.
Sometimes I
That's
lock
fair.
myself into my room at night because I get like scared that
'Cause-
somebody's gonna like get me.
Well, usually monsters live under your bed.
No,
so-
it's like I listen to this really scary podcast about black-eyed
Murders?
Shouldn't
children.
have
They're
done
like
that.
these interdimensional beings.
Wait,
that,
what's
like,
it called?
I don't. It's
It's just called Scary Podcast.
it's called. I think it's a scary podcast. I don't know. I'd
I
have to
think I
look it
was
up. I'll
listening.
put it in the show notes. It's about these interdimensional beings, and they look like children, but they got black eyes, and they can come to your window and and get you.
And you like to listen to that right
And it
before you go to
sounds
bed.
really stupid now, but like every once in a while, this was like a year ago that I listened to this podcast, and every once in a while I'm like going to sleep and like,
and it haunts you.
what if there's one like right behind me?
That's the worst. That's why I don't like. We've had this conversation. Scary movies are scary. What I don't
Scary stuff
understand.
is
Scary
scary.
stuff is scary, and it lives in my psyche forever. So I can't.
This is the only thing I've been like a real puss about. Like,
just.
Do you like scary movies though?
I do. I like scary
Yeah, me
movies. I
too.
like murdery stuff. I
Yeah.
made a special
I like
visit to the
murdery
Black
stuff. I
Dahlia
like-
house a while ago.
I like- wait, the what?
Where is that?
It's on
Is it here?
Franklin. Wait, isn't it on Franklin? What's it called? Yeah, I think it's on Franklin.
Oh
They call
yeah,
it, like, the
yeah.
Franklin
You told me
house.
about that. You
No
were like,
fucking
"What's
way,
going
really?
on?"
It's the one that they're pretty sure because there's this guy Steve Hodel who's
Okay.
like pretty sure his dad was like the one who killed the Black Dahlia and a bunch of other murders
Holy
here.
shit.
Because apparently, back then, everybody was getting murdered. All these ladies were getting murdered, and the police were just like, well, you shouldn't be wandering around at night. That's what do you expect?
That's what you get.
And because
for being
there's
a
so
woman
many
at
little
night.
cities and shit here,
Yeah.
none of the police would work together. It's like if you got murdered in Culver City by the same guy who also murdered somebody in L.A., they'd be like totally unrelated.
Even though it's like 5 fucking miles.
How far is Culver? Like 10? Realistically?
Not even 10, I don't
Really?
think.
But it takes like 30 minutes to get here.
Takes 30, 35.
It depends
Okay.
on the time of day.
It-
It can take you 4 hours if it's at 5
It
o'clock.
never takes 4 hours.
It's on the way to Santa Monica, and it has
No,
taken
it's
me.
not.
Yeah, it is.
It's
Santa
straight
Monica,
down.
Culver City. It's like
Santa Monica's like off to the side all the way. It's like this much
it's
of the
like
coast.
right before you get.
I still need to go to Santa Monica.
Because there's like
You haven't
Playa
been to
Vista
Santa
and
Monica?
shit.
I've been there once in my entire life.
Santa Monica?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you should go.
Yeah.
It's fun. Have
I
you been
know.
to Venice?
Once.
Oh my god.
You gotta go
Once
to the
in my
beach. You
entire
live in
life.
California, dude.
No, I come from a place called Temecula, which is like 90 miles south.
Oh,
It's pretty close to Oceanside and like San Diego.
okay.
So I used to go to the beach down
So
there.
you're
all
like,
the
I don't
time.
give a shit about the beach anymore.
No, I didn't live by the beach.
I don't know.
I lived close to the beach, so I would go to the beach a lot.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you're
but-
over it.
Yeah.
It's
No,
not, it's
I
not
love
new.
it. I just love that beach, like
Oh.
La Jolla and like San Diego area. I don't like San Diego that much, but I like that beach.
Oh, I've been to La
beautiful.
Jolla, I think, is where we
beautiful.
visited when we went down there. I'd like
Really
to go back
nice.
to San Diego.
But I should
It's cool.
I should probably go to Santa Monica.
No, you should go to Venice.
Well,
yeah,
you can go
it's
to
the same thing.
both.
I know they're right next door.
You can walk through both if you want to take a long walk,
Or you can
bring
take
your
a scooter.
bike. Or you can ride a bird scooter.
What is that?
The scooters are called birds.
It's like
the
a-
brand is Bird.
Oh,
You
I
like
heard of
rent,
Yeah.
swipe your card and you can ride it around for as long as you
I
want,
think
and then
there's, like,
leave it
an app
wherever.
for it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
someone picks it up.
Yeah, you have an app and you can
just
find
leave
them.
it somewhere too. Like you could ride it all the way up here if you want. Like leave it on the sidewalk and
Dude, that would be hilarious
be
to rent
dumb.
one of those and like leave it on a roof somewhere and be like, good luck finding it.
Come get
Get
it. Or you could like lock it in your house. How do people like do that? Because you're not going to go into somebody's
Well,
house.
eventually
and
you
get
have to
it.
like charge it, so it will become like
Oh,
useless.
It just dies.
Yeah,
That's fair.
after a while. And then they
That's
pick
true.
it up, and I think like whatever the brand is can like lock it. It's kind of like those like bikes that you can get. Like if you just leave it somewhere, like they lock up and become like useless. So you could like steal it if you want a useless object.
I just want this scooter that doesn't work.
And they're probably all like chipped or whatever, so that they can like find them.
Yeah, no shit.
Rotate them.
That's
or
such
whatever.
a weird piece of technology. I don't know why I find it weird. Like, we can't make bikes work in this city, but we can make scooters work.
What?
Like, have you ever seen those, like, green Hulu sponsored bikes, like, in West Hollywood?
Yeah.
I feel like people, like, don't use those.
Well, the problem is because like LA is like not a bike friendly city.
Because
Like
people get
God,
hit.
no.
well,
Yeah,
one because
fucking
it's like
wish it wasn't
there's not
allowed.
enough bike lanes.
for sure.
Like when I was living in Chicago, like Chicago's like pretty bike friendly. Like I rode my bike everywhere I didn't have a car, and like you know like you take public transit, but I get like super motion sick a lot, like on trains and stuff. So like,
You ever get in an Uber and you have the worst driver of all time?
yeah, like they're real heavy on the brake, and you want to like burp.
They just like fucking.
You want to yak in their backseat. Yeah, had that experience.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, there's no good like bike lanes here and stuff, and
Well,
like
it's 'cause the
people
roads-
drive like assholes here too.
Yeah, the roads are fucked up and people drive like assholes.
But
Bikes
then
should not be
like
allowed.
that wouldn't deter me. What deters me here is because like all of a sudden you're just like, oh, I have to go up that hill. And the hills are like ridiculous. Like I rode my bike when I was living in Hollywood from Hollywood to my friend's place downtown.
Oh.
And like all of a sudden it would just be like, now take a left, and like it's like a hill that you can't even see like like because it just goes straight up into the sky. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Remember those hills that we were going through the other day to go see that
Yeah,
house?
I was like, where the fuck? It was on
Dude,
our
if-
way towards where you live, actually. I don't know.
What was that again? What was that place
Remember
called?
you said something Heights? You were like, oh, everybody wants to live there. You were saying that to me the other
Hacienda
day.
Heights or some shit.
Highland Park.
Oh yeah, no, it
Near-
was like near the lake, Silver Lake.
Yeah.
or not Silver Lake.
Yeah, Silver Lake is like all hills. It should be called like Silver Hills because it's like a lot of like big fucking
Yeah,
hills.
so
Because
we
there's no
found a
lake.
place that we were going to look at, and we were driving there, and it was like, wee.
Yeah. You know, sometimes like Google like reroutes me like when I'm leaving like UCB like in the middle. If I go like in the day, like I went to that Coach's Corner thing the other day. So I like left in the day when it was like too bad traffic to take the freeway. And like this is like they want you to go through Silver Lake going over these like crazy hills and like I'm like, what? What is this route, Google?
No, thank you.
A lot of hills. So that's what's really deterring the bike game. But my bike now lives in my room, so I think like staring at it enough will make me want to ride it more.
I've had 2 bikes since living here.
Yeah.
I bought one.
stolen?
No, I bought one. Well, yeah, one of them did. I bought one on Amazon, and I think it was just like a little too small because I'm like a big person.
Yeah, I always buy boy bikes because like
That's
girl
what I
bikes
should
are always
do.
too short for me.
So I rode that one around for like last summer a little bit. I'd ride it to work and stuff, but I didn't enjoy riding it because it hurt my legs. And so it was sitting in our living room for the longest time, and I was like, I want to get a new bike because I really want to ride to work. That's like a cool, I don't know, I like the idea of that. So I went to a bike shop that was like going out of business and got one for like $50, and it was super vintage, like way old school. I loved it. I rode it to work one day and locked it right outside, and somebody just fucking snapped.
You got to get a crowbar lock.
Yeah, I didn't have that.
Because my bike, somebody, like, why it lives in my room is because somebody's tried to steal it now, like, 3 times. Like, because I had it locked to this pipe.
Your bike is named Wyatt.
What's that?
Your bike is named Wyatt.
What?
No.
Oh, I thought
What
you
the
said.
fuck did you just hear?
I just
Are
said-
you listening?
I
Yeah,
said
no,
my
I-
bike has been almost stolen 3 times out of my apartment complex. Like I have a gated garage like under my apartment, and
Yeah.
my parking spot is right next to this big pipe. So I was just locking it to the pipe with my crowbar lock, but then I don't want my wheels to get stolen either because I have like a quick release like front wheel.
Yeah.
So like I had I had like a chain that I got from Home Depot and like with a padlock, and I put those around
Nice.
the wheels. But like 3 times now they've like snapped the chain. Like somebody came in with like, you know, snappers.
Yeah.
And
bolt cutters.
Yeah.
bolt cutters
Yeah.
is the technical term. And like tried to take it, and like obviously kept trying to get on my crowbar lock because it's like the crowbar lock's like covered with like a rubber like
Yeah,
outing.
so it has, like,
and it has all these like
gashes.
marks now, but like, you know, it's like steel or whatever, and they can't get through.
I am so
but I'm paranoid now, so it's in my
impressed
room.
by the black market of bikes. Like,
Yeah, I
that
was
must
just
be a
gonna say.
booming fucking business in this city.
Well, I had a really nice bike in Chicago that got stolen out of my apartment complex. $500 bike, the best bike I ever had. It was a present to myself because my old bike, I got hit by a car and it got all smashed. So I was like, I'm gonna.
You
buy
got hit by a
bike.
car?
Been hit by a car.
Are you okay?
That was like 2 years ago.
Are you okay?
I'm fine now.
Good. We just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, no, I did
you
all right.
You weren't dead.
It worked itself out.
Have you only been hit once?
Only once. I got like clipped like
Only
a bunch
once.
of times.
Only
Well,
once.
I don't know.
I used to
I've
get
almost-
clipped in
multiple
college
times.
all the goddamn time.
Are you?
Because I like lived at this like corner where like everybody had to make like a turn unless you wanted to like go onto campus, which, you know, it was like the main road and then like campus, where I was going across to campus, but a lot of people would come off and like make that turn
And be like, fuck!
Yeah, where the bike lane is and where that turn is, like I guess there was like a lot of blind spots, so I got like clipped a lot. But like
Clipped
not
in the
like
front or the back?
usually, like, you get, like, your front wheel clipped and they'd, like, knock you over. But, it
What?
like, you know, you're at a standstill.
Holy
so somebody's
shit.
making a turn and then they, like, clip you with, like, you know, like, the front of their car. And then they're like, oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I've almost hit like 5 people on bikes out here. 'Cause
I
they
have
just
never
drive
almost hit somebody.
right
thank
here
God.
on Franklin. It's a janky ass street. It's not level at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, bikes just like are just driving down the middle or riding down the middle of the fucking street.
Yep.
And sometimes I'll go around him. Like, I almost got in a fight with this one guy because he cut me off because there was like cars parked along the right side of the street, right? He's riding his bike. I'm coming up behind him. I'm annoyed because now I have to fucking go his speed because I don't want to hit him.
Right.
So I start going around him and shit. And he starts getting over into the fucking lane and cutting me off like on a bike.
Like,
Yeah.
trying to keep you in your place?
Yeah, so
Stay behind me,
yeah, so I
asshole.
honked at him.
Say, what is it? Share the street, share the road.
Share the
road.
road. Yeah, so I honk at him. I go back around him to the other side, and then of course now I'm stopped at a stoplight with him. And then he like fucking scoots over and then just starts like yelling at me through the like I have my window up and he just starts yelling at me and like oh yeah,
What was
I
he
flipped him
saying?
off as I drove by.
I ran into a car once on my bike and, like, fucked up the whole front of my bike. Because, like,
So it was
somebody
your fault?
pulled over to the side, like, real quick into the bike lane, and I couldn't stop in time, and I just smashed into the
You
back.
should start wearing a GoPro.
I
riding a
should.
bike.
I have a GoPro now, and I'm.
She's using it to go on hikes.
go
How
on
is
hikes.
that,
Oh,
by the
yeah,
way?
that's right.
Yeah, it's kind of at like a standstill at the moment because I
Why?
just haven't had a lot of time to go on hikes the last like couple weeks, but it's gonna come back.
It's at a standstill.
It's at a standstill.
Have you ever gone up to the Hollywood sign? I'm sure you have.
No, I
No,
haven't.
she's been doing like
I do
nature
like,
fucking
I've been doing
hikes.
like
Where do
the
you
like
go?
Los Angeles National Forest.
Where is that?
That's I guess it's technically in Arcadia.
That's
Oh, okay.
north of here, right?
Yeah, it's like north and to the right.
That's east.
Yes.
North and to the right.
North and to the right. I know where like everything is in regards to where I live right now.
Oh,
Like
okay.
if I think about it in my mind, but everywhere else is just who knows.
I feel like I know. I have like a snapshot of Los Angeles or like the greater Los Angeles area, like in my brain because I look at the map so much.
Yeah.
I do. I spend a lot of time looking at the map because
Well,
I
you've
like knowing
also,
where
like,
everything
lived
is.
Here
Yeah.
longer than I have.
That's true. You've only been here
9 months.
not even a year.
Yeah, long enough to have a baby. That's how I keep
Oh.
thinking of it.
I was like, you have a kid?
I've had like an LA baby. Actually, I one of the people I work with got pregnant like right as like when I started working here.
Oh,
She just
weird.
popped.
And she just had her baby yesterday.
And you
so
were
I was
like, oh.
I was like, wow, what a turning point.
Oh, a turning point. Speaking of, so when I sort of related, I was working in DC. I worked for a radio station when I lived there, like part time, just doing like bullshit, like setting up for events and stuff. It was super like low key, not a big deal. But they did an event with Walk the Moon. You know that band?
Yeah.
So they did an event with them, and I was like, I need to work this because I want to meet them. Like, I was like a super fan. And so they did a private event that we got to like set up for, and I was like taking everybody's pictures that was there. And then at the end, I got to like talk to them and like.
Are they
it was, like-
short?
yeah, they're all kind of small.
Yeah, I
But-
kind of thought they might be.
Yeah, they're all
Walk
kind
the
of.
Moon?
Like, yeah, Walk the Moon. Shut
You,
up
like,
and dance with me.
Dance with me. That song.
Oh, I hate that song.
Well, they have other songs that are good.
They have
as
other
well.
songs that are good.
Haven't
and
been
also
overplayed.
That's a good song. So.
But so the other night at work, we actually had a bunch of celebrities come in this week. I feel like the lead singer of that band was sat at my table with his girlfriend, and I was like, holy fuck, like I've met him. I talked more to one of the other bandmates, so I didn't actually talk to him very much, but I like, for some reason I went up to them and I was like, hey, we've met before. And I was like, why did I fucking start that way? But it was cool because for me it was like, I was in DC at that point when I was working there. I was like, I'm going to get to Los Angeles. Like, that was where my goals were. Like, let me get on my way to California. And then it kind of came full circle where I was working and doing this. And I saw him again. And I was like, oh, we're in the same place. Like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
You're like, I've met you before. And he's like, I meet a lot of people.
I know. I was like, you probably, well, I said, like, you probably wouldn't remember, but I was just like, it's just cool. And he was like, oh, no, okay, cool. And his girlfriend was not happy. I don't know what happened. I think they got into a fight.
Why?
Because I don't know.
You?
I don't
Why
know
not?
if it had anything to do with me, but like, I said that.
Because you were like, hey, remember me? And then you turned around
I
and showed
wasn't
your
like,
ass.
yeah, that's what I do to people. I'm like, nah. No, I had purple hair at the time. I didn't mention that, but I probably should have. It was probably a little bit more memorable. But I said that to him, and he's obviously like used to people, at least a little bit more. Like,
He probably meets a good amount of people.
yeah, and I don't know what she does, so probably she does not have that sort of thing. So it's probably annoying when people are constantly like, oh my God, to him, and ignoring her. So I can understand if she was mad, that might be why. But like, I don't know what happened. They didn't touch their food. He took it to go, and I don't know. They seemed like something might have happened. I was like, is this that point where she's like, you're too big and we can't be
get
together?
to see like celebrities though in their like environment here, because like I do catering on the side, and I did an event for Eva Longoria's Walk of Fame star last Monday.
Really?
What?
How'd that go?
It was cool. It was like, because she got her star on the Walk of Fame, and then it was like at this mansion in Beverly Hills, like for like, I don't know, like the after brunch party or whatever, and like, you know, all these like celebrities were there, and like the housewives were there, and
Really? All of them? Or just some of them?
from Desperate Housewives, yeah, they were like all there, and then Reese Witherspoon was there.
Cool.
Which I was like,
Hi.
gotta.
Were there
all the
any real
Beckhams were there.
housewives?
The Beckhams were there.
shit.
Yeah, like Victoria Beckham and their kids and David Beckham. And man, the Beckham was like, I was taking my break and I wanted to eat this piece of cornbread, but the Beckhams were like waiting for their car, like right by the catering tent. And they're like, you can't eat in front of the Beckhams. And I was like, oh man.
Was that a rule? Like,
Well, you're not like supposed to eat like like in front, like
because you're working.
Yeah, but like I was on my break and I really wanted to eat this piece of cornbread. I was like, get out of here, Beckham's, like move, Beckham's, like
Just like take it to the bathroom.
Yeah,
and,
I was trying to like psychically like
Just
pass
turn
that to
around.
the Beckhams, like to get out of here. And I was like,
Get outta here.
I'll never have that thought again for the rest of my life. Like move, Beckham's.
need this piece of cornbread.
Yeah, I need to eat.
It's more
I
important
wish
than
David
you.
Beckham would get the fuck out of my way so I can
So I
eat
can
this
eat this.
goddamn bread.
Fucking move, Beckhams. Yeah. I didn't know the Beckhams were close with Eva Longoria, but they are.
I did not know that. I also didn't know, who was it? Somebody just had Chrissy Teigen, John Legend's wife.
Yep.
Who's the model and hilarious on Twitter. She had a baby shower, a surprise one, and like all the Kardashians were there.
Oh yeah, no, they're all like, that's like they're trying to bring Kanye West back from his whole like spiraling into MAGA stuff right now. It's all on
God.
Twitter. It's
What's MAGA?
Make America Great Again.
Because
He's
now
like
now
sponsoring Trump or whatever.
Yeah, Kanye's like a Trump supporter now.
Yeah, I thought that was a
apparently.
joke.
I don't know.
I can't
He
tell.
released like the Shoop-de Poop song, and
That was so weird.
because the song starts out good, and then he's like Shoop. Poop de poop. And that's the rap part of the song, and it's like, what?
I can't tell if he's just like a giant troll or if he is having issues.
I think he's mentally challenged.
Challenged or just, I don't know about challenged, but he might be getting
I don't think he's
fucked.
all there.
I don't know,
Really.
man.
Like, I don't think he's all there.
I
There's
don't
just,
pretend to be an expert on
Yeah,
this.
for
I just
sure.
watch it.
Laugh.
but just the way he acts and like just the way like he says stuff. Like did I send you that video where like it was a long time ago, like maybe 10 years ago, like when Hurricane Katrina happened or some shit.
Yeah, and he said,
Oh, yeah, and
President
Bush doesn't care about black people.
But it was just like
It was so out of
the most
nowhere.
random thing ever.
Yeah, no, it's the classic Mike Myers is standing next to him. He's like,
Like,
"Whoa."
I didn't mean to get into this.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that's like, when I see that, like, it's hilarious. But that's somebody that, like, it's not all
Yeah.
there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like
It's
now it's just getting
not
worse.
there, or he has all these thoughts and opinions, and he doesn't know how to communicate them. That might be it. But
And
he's
he
a
just makes
fucking musician.
shitty
Just
shoes.
do that. Does he?
Yeah, Yeezys. You
Oh,
guys don't know about
Yeezys.
Yeezys? Yeah.
I don't know
They're
shoes.
like $1,200 and they are ugly as fuck.
Well, actually, I like how they look, which is why I have a knockoff pair.
Do you?
But I've been hiking in them a lot, so they're like all like
So
they're
they're just
all
shit.
like fucked up.
Are they
now.
nice hiking shoes?
Yeah, and they were like $30 on Amazon because my hiking boots that my mom gave me, like, are giving me a lot of blisters. They're giving me some grief. So
Yeah, hiking
I'm not
boots-
wearing those much.
Yeah, cheap hiking boots are actually the worst thing you could wear hiking.
I don't even think they're cheap. They're like Ariats, which is like
Oh.
a good brand. I
Yeah.
just don't think they're like right for my feet because like they were.
I go
my mom
hiking
bought them,
just
but
in
they were too big.
sneakers.
Yeah, now I do also, but I wanted to like get more legit because I wear like a little camelback too. So it's like,
Oh yeah, so
I look so- I got all my
Jackie with
shit.
her GoPro, she just goes on hikes and just like films. Where have you figured out a place to keep it? Because you were like, it doesn't work on your helmet, it doesn't work on your chest.
I think I'm gonna try it on my head again.
Yeah,
You know what you should do? You should get one of those like
just put it
things that, like,
across your eyes.
that people in haunted houses used to wear, like on those like scary TV shows and stuff, where they were like checking out ghost stories. Where like it's one of those like body cam things where you like you put something on you and then there's like a thing sticking off and then it's just like
Oh, and it's just shoot it. No, because she's not
I don't want to
recording
shoot my
her.
face. I'm like
She's
actually
recording
shooting
But that would be
the-
funnier.
doing the walk. But it's so long and like
Awkward.
that's not relaxing.
See, that's what I told
walk
her. I was
backwards.
like, I want her to do a series where she hikes, but just they don't ever see her. She just commentates the whole time, and I just think that would be hysterical. She's like
So
not
what-
about it.
So what does hiking mean to you? Because I've learned that like hiking has a different definition, like based on who the fuck is talking.
Oh, for sure.
Oof. I guess because it's like I grew up in an area that's there's a lot of like wildlife and like I grew up near the Everglades, so it was like real easy to just like kind of go like putz around there. And then I lived in Chicago for the last 3.5 years, and like there's like no nature stuff at all there. It's like you can bike on the lake, and that's about it. So like living out here has been really cool because I can actually like hike and stuff. Like I was doing from like my birthday, I always take like a hike now. I did for like the last 2 years.
But
Take a hike.
when you say hike, you mean like actually like
like hike.
yeah, it's not like walking like an
No.
uphill walk.
No, it's-
Because there's some people that like say I'm gonna go for a hike and they just like walk up this street.
no, it's like
And then there's like people that like to hike where they like go into nature, but like it is sort of a hike. And then I have a friend that thinks hiking is like mountain climbing.
Climbing.
I mean, sometimes I'll climb a mountain.
Really?
Yeah, there's a couple mountains like in Malibu. Like,
Do you have to use your hands? Is what I'm saying.
not really. Like, I'm not like rock climbing.
Yeah, so
I
you're
did this
hiking.
like cave though. There's the cave of Muntis is out here. It's in
Muntis?
the Muntis.
That's a terrible name.
Dude,
and
that
maybe
sounds
there's some
super
guy
badass.
probably his last name was Muntis, and he's like,
That
"This is
poor
my
fella.
cave." And I went there on my birthday this last year and like climbed it. And apparently there's this trail that's not like super hazardous, but I just like went up to the front of it and climbed up like the rocks. Like it's probably only like 15 feet like up of rocks, but like. You know, I was like, oh, if I fall, like, that's definitely, like, a broken leg or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, once you're halfway up, you're like, well, it's going to be harder to get down.
Just keep
So you
going.
just have to do it and not look. But, yeah. And that was, like, you climb up, like, the side of the hill, and the hill's so steep, and I got to the top and, like, was about to puke. It was
Ooh.
so
How did you
hot
get
out.
down?
And walk back down.
Like, did you? Sometimes for Runyon Canyon, there's like a separate extra hike at the top that you actually is really fucking steep. So just for fun, like you don't have to use your hands, but there are parts where you could. So sometimes I'll go from the top to the bottom, and because it's so steep, like I'm afraid my feet are gonna shuffle. So I'll get down and like crab walk down the thing, and I'm like, I'm hiking.
Yeah. Sometimes like there's this area in like Malibu. I can't remember what. Like it's actually like a mountain. It's cool, and like you climb up it, and you can see like out to like the ocean and stuff like that. It's real pretty.
Yeah. I've been to that one. It's nice.
But like when I was leaving like the top of the mountain, I thought this was like the trail, and it turned out it wasn't. And so I'm just like going through like all this bush and like brush trying to like get back to the main trail, and I was like having to like slide on my butt because it was like real steep and everything, and so that happens. And then I'm like rock climbing, but it's not intentional.
Accident. Just survival.
It's
at
just
that
like,
point.
oh shit, and then you're like, oh fuck, there's probably like rattlesnake in here or something.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I asked because I have a friend that he invited me on a hike once, and I was like, yeah, cool, like. Because before that, I was going on a bunch of hikes, and then he saw that I was going on hikes, and he's like, oh, we should go on a hike. And then, like, he invited me to this fucking hike that he's been to a few times. And it's Mike. And, like, there was literally parts where, like, if I fell, I was dead.
Yep.
And it was, like, I had to, like, press my body up against this, like, this huge boulder at one point. I had to, like, climb up the side, right? And behind me, it's, like, a 20-foot drop into, a rocky, like, stream.
Yeah.
With like sharp rocks.
Yeah.
I had to like climb up the side of this like thing right here, and then there was a boulder. And the boulder, you can't like walk along the boulder, right? So you have to like press your body up against it, and there's like a platform right here and a platform over here.
You just have to toe.
And you have to like press up against this thing, put your foot on the other side, and just kind of like hope you don't fall back. Ugh. I remember when I was doing it, I had a backpack on.
No.
And they're like, come on, pussy, you can do it.
Of course.
And I'm like, okay, just give me a fucking second. Here, hold my backpacks. And I threw it to him, and then like somehow I did it, and then like getting back across was even worse. But
Jesus.
It was just like after
you were like,
that,
that's not a hike.
I was like, hey, this isn't a hike. This also isn't a trail. Yeah. You know that, right?
You also have to
climbing boulders and rocks now.
Yeah, you gotta like work up to it and stuff too, because like in January I got like really sick. I had like a lung infection, and it turned into pleurisy and all this stuff because I didn't have like health insurance for the last couple months.
You're really introducing me to a lot of new words.
Pleurisy is when your lung is filled with fluid.
Ew.
Okay.
It's really painful. It feels like you're like it feels like you got like kicked in like the ribs real hard. Like it's hard to like sit up and stuff like that. But I had to wait till the 1st of January for my new insurance to kick in to actually get like antibiotics without it costing like hundreds of dollars because my old insurance like was over by the end of November, so I had like a 1 month period that I just had to like and then I just got super sick during it, unfortunately.
Of course.
So like I was recovering from all that for like 2 months, and just in like March started like hiking again, and it was tough. You gotta like build back up to it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you made. I feel like you've cheated death a few times.
Have I?
You got
I got hit by a car.
Got hit by cars.
Got hit by cars. Your lungs filled up.
Got
slide down mountains.
I've had a few concussions.
You've been concussed?
Oh yeah, a bunch of times.
A bunch of times.
Well,
huh?
not like too many times.
I've never been concussed.
Never been concussed? Oh, you got to get hit by a car, thrown into a fence by a horse.
Oh wow.
What? That happened a few. Yeah.
You ride horses?
Oh yeah,
or you did?
I did. Yeah, we had some ponies back in the Everglades.
I'm just picturing you just being like, "Wow!" and then like flying up against the fence.
Yeah, that was like when I was like 9. I got like bucked off this horse and like hit the
concussed.
Fence, and like they're like, "Don't let her fall asleep. She might go into a coma."
Keep her awake. Oh God.
Yeah.
Some girl I work with like came up to me yesterday, and she was like, "Hey guys, like fucking, I fell on my head yesterday, and I'm concussed." And I was just like, "What?
What? That's random."
Yes, it was the most random fucking shit. I was sitting on my. I don't remember what she said, but she was just like, "I'm concussed," and I'm like, "I don't think you would be okay if you were like actually concussed." She's like, "No, I'm concussed," and then just walked away.
I mean, you can like be concussed and like go about your life. It's just like a constant headache for like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The only thing it does is take you out of sporting events.
Yeah, it's not like an extreme. Like, I guess it depends on the severity of it, because concussions are just when your brain hits your skull.
Yeah.
Because your brain's just floating around in your head with like fluid. So like if you like smash your head real bad,
it hits your skull, and then how you get knocked out is it when it goes back goes one side to the other. Is that right?
I don't know.
I feel like I learned that
feel like
from
I'm gonna get
watching UFC.
I feel like I'm gonna get a headache just talking about this.
When you
though.
get knocked out, it's when your brain hits both sides of your skull, I think.
I don't think that's true.
You don't?
I don't think that's
Okay,
true.
maybe I made that up.
When you get knocked out, usually it's because you get like when you get hit in the jaw the right way, it like disables your legs and like you just shut it down basically. Or like if you get choked out or something like that,
Well,
it just cuts
choked
off
out is because your oxygen gets cut off.
Yeah. But
Did you
it's
ever-
actually better to get choked out than to get like knocked out.
Yeah. Did you ever? Okay, I don't know why we did this as kids, but did you ever get like pass out on purpose?
No.
There was like this weird. I don't know how we figured it out.
Fuck
We
that.
shouldn't have fucking been doing this.
Nope.
It's in my friend's basement, and what you would do is you would crouch down, put your hands on your knees, and you would breathe in and out really, really quick to get lightheaded. And then you stand up, and then somebody takes their hands to your neck and pushes. Like they keep an opening in the middle, but they push just to slightly cut off your oxygen, and you pass out. You're only out for like 2 seconds if you're not killing each other.
Yeah.
But it feels like you pass out for like 30 minutes because you have like a full-blown dream and everything, and then you wake up and you're like, how long was I out for? And they're like, 2 seconds, man. You're like, that was us.
Virginia sounds boring.
Yeah. I've only passed
Super
out one
dangerous.
time. Like, it was like after I gave blood, and I think, I don't know.
Besides that, I don't think I've ever passed out.
It was just, and this was like hours after. Like, it was like 4 hours, but I didn't like eat afterwards. I was like, I'm fine. And then I went to it was like in college, so I like walked myself to the dining hall, and as I was like swiping my card, I was like, whoa. And the cashier like caught me, and it was like, it could have been like a really romantic moment, but
Who was the
wasn't.
cashier?
just some dude.
Oh.
Yeah.
Some dude.
Yeah. And he was like, I've never caught somebody as they were falling. I was like, neither have I.
Did you
And
guys
I was
kiss?
like, where's your Gatorade? I need to drink some of that and then eat like a whole sandwich.
Give me the fucking food.
Yeah. I was more concerned because I used to give blood like every 6 weeks
Why?
because you can.
Oh.
Every 6 weeks you can, and they would like call me because
Did
I
you
have
get paid?
No, you do it for charity.
Out of the
Also, it
goodness
burns
of her heart.
1,700 calories, so it'd be like a good excuse to like get trash that
When
night.
you give blood, you burn 1,700 calories.
Yeah, because your body's got to remake all that blood.
Shit.
No way. I'm going to
That's a
donate blood every
weird
day.
fucking.
Well,
you can't do it
You
every
can
day.
do it every 6 weeks, and
Yeah,
they
no
would call
shit.
me because in Florida, I don't know why they have like blood buses all over the place. So you just like find a bus and go get on it and like go get your blood.
Those things exist.
I know, it's weird.
They're called the Bloodmobile, and then you get like a free hat and a bag of cookies or something. And
Free hat.
yeah, they could leave you like a hat or a shirt or something, and
You're
give
like
you free
their
orange juice.
mascot, dude.
yeah, I liked it.
I
It was
don't
fun.
like-
and I have a baby enzyme that they got to give to like sick babies, so they would call me all the time, like,
A baby
they're like,
enzyme.
Joshua has cancer. I was like,
Sleeves
you
love.
can save Joshua's life, and I was like, yeah, no, I do it every 6 weeks. I don't give a shit. And then here, like, there's no bloodmobiles, which I feel like California's like should have bloodmobiles.
the
They have taco
taco
trucks
trucks.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like,
The
how do you
taco
not
trucks take up all the
blood
space in the parking lots for the blood trucks.
Yeah, sometimes they'd give you like free movie tickets and stuff like that.
The Bloodmobiles?
Yeah. I mean, then I started doing plasma because you
Does
got
it
like
like
20
you
bucks
get
when
a
you gave
fucking a
plasma.
chip and they give you a like 10?
Well, they'd like give
Like
you
in a
like
coffee
free
shop,
shit
you
to
know what I
like
mean?
get people on there to give their blood.
Weird.
And I have O positive, which is almost the universal donor.
Really?
Yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
O negative is the universal donor. O positive is, I'm pretty sure somebody will be like, no, it's not. I'm pretty sure like O positive can give to everybody but O negative.
Yeah.
And O negative can give to everybody.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Can give to everybody, but can only get
yeah,
from O.
sucks for them, but like for everybody else, it's great blood to have.
I couldn't tell you what my blood type is.
I don't know what mine
I've
is
been to
either.
the doctor probably more than both of you.
You should learn it just in case you get like hit by a car or something like that.
So
Oh,
you
yeah.
learned it very early in your life.
No, I just started giving blood when I was like 18, and they send you like an email like, this is your blood,
Oh my god.
this is what's going on.
I'm super squeamish. I don't like getting my blood taken.
Oh, and I give blood super fast, too. They were like, this is like the fastest donation ever. Because they take like a pint or a couple pints or whatever they do. Like, you fill up a bag full of blood. Like, you sit there and you just like squeeze. And, like,
This is like making my like.
I know, I
wrists
don't like
weak.
it.
Oh, it was great. They were like, that was such a fast donate. Because some people like sit there for like an hour. And I would sit there for like 15 minutes and just
You're
squirt
just like,
out all this blood. Like, give me my t-shirt.
I don't know
just
how
in and out.
fast my blood moves, but I know that when I have to get it taken for like doctor stuff, I have great veins, is what I've always been told.
Yeah, I have
Same.
almost like track marks now because I was giving plasma so much for a while.
Now you
What
have
is
no veins.
plasma?
Plasma is like the shit that your blood, like, you have like the cells,
Yeah.
and it's what they're floating around in. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
actually like clear. And they use it to make like antibiotics and like stuff like that. So
Cool.
you can sell it. Like, I used to go to this really sketchy place and like get it taken out, and like you get like $25.
That's it?
Yeah, it's beer money. In,
Oh
like,
my
college,
God.
You like sit there for like a couple hours.
You could
and I
donate
do, like,
eggs
my
and get
homework.
hundreds of dollars. Have you ever done that? Donated your eggs?
I signed up to try and do it because you can make like $20,000 like over 6 donations, but they wouldn't
What?
take me because they said I was like too common.
What? What does that mean?
Like, there's too many people just like me who are trying to sell their eggs because, you know, like...
What, they want diversity?
Yeah, I mean, if you're like white,
Like,
brown
there's too
hair,
many-
brown eyes, they're like, we got enough of that.
There's too many Jews doing it.
Yeah. Because they're looking for like, because it's just like sperm donations where you're like, well, what does
Which
he
one do
look
I-
like? Because you're
oh,
trying to like mix
weird.
together a baby. And I guess like they got enough like girls who look like me giving their eggs away, so they're like, we need something.
We don't need any
somebody
more
else.
of you.
That's crazy. A girl that, when we first visited here, the week that we were here, we stayed with a guy that I went to college with, and one of his roommates sold her eggs. Like, that was most of how she got by. She was also a Disney princess for a while.
See, she pretty. If you're pretty, like, that's one of, because people just want like a pretty baby. I was like, I went to college, you know, and
Don't you want my eggs? That's smart.
and I haven't done that many drugs. How about
My eggs
these
are wicked
eggs, huh?
smart.
That's wicked
Yeah.
smart.
Take some of these eggs, huh? I don't get sick a lot, except for when I do, I get super sick.
Giant
my
hospital
eggs
bills
and
for your
you'll-
baby.
Yeah, I'm allergic to penicillin. Ooh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Take my eggs and your baby will get hit by a car a lot.
Great genetics there.
So that's what's
How much do you get for donating sperm?
No idea. I've never tried it.
Never done
Never
it.
tried it? Well,
Never
I figured
tried
it's,
it.
when you're in the bank, there's probably like a menu, right? It's like eggs, you get this much. Sperm, you get this much.
It's
You would
definitely
think.
less because, like, with the eggs, it's like a procedure. Like, they
Oh.
gotta, like, scoop it out of you.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
if they're
can't
in-
just like cum
Yeah,
your
they're like
eggs.
all the, yeah, you can't just like squirt an egg out the way you can like you know, because when you squirt an egg out, even like your period isn't an egg, it's lining.
Yeah.
Wait, so if you donate eggs, how do you donate it 6 times if you only have like 2 eggs or whatever?
You don't have 2 eggs. You have
What?
you have like 10,000 eggs.
I don't know anything.
Oh my god.
I don't know anything about that.
Men don't
All
know
right.
shit about repercussion.
No, sure don't.
Repercussion.
Reproduction.
I don't
No,
know.
you like as
Reproduction.
a
You
lady,
don't know shit about talking.
you got
I
like
know.
a certain amount of eggs, but you have like them in the thousands, and then
And they
like
Okay.
every month you drop a couple, and then like if they don't get like a
Fertilized, they
little
go
sperm,
bye-bye.
Yeah, they get flushed out, and that just keeps happening throughout your life, and then you get a certain age, and it's like abort. All the eggs like leave, and that's menopause, and
Oh, that's what that is? Okay.
Yeah.
it's when all
Learning a
your
lot of
eggs
things
go
today.
bad at once. So, like, the thing is, you're not going to use all your eggs, like, in the... You got a surplus of eggs.
Okay.
So you're not
Cool.
going to use them
Good to
all, so
know.
you might as well, like, if you can, try and sell them.
Yeah.
Good to know.
But it is, like, they got to scoop them out of your body, so it's, like, a whole
It's a whole
procedure.
thing. It's not just like cum in a cup,
Yeah.
which
It's
is
not like
what.
here, take this magazine, go jack off over there
Like,
in
it's
the
an
corner.
actual, like, medical procedure to
Oh, wow.
donate your eggs.
I didn't know that.
So that's probably why it's more expensive.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So for jizz, you probably just get like $25. Like,
Yeah, you
live.
probably don't get a ton. I mean,
Well, I know that people have done that like for money and stuff,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that like I didn't think it would be very much.
it's
It's just such an
super
easy task.
I mean, I used to do the plasma, so if I was a dude, I'd be, like, doing that all the time.
Just jack
Yeah,
off.
because
If
you
you're
could,
gonna
you
do it
could do
anyway.
that every day.
You
You
could
don't
do
need
that.
to wait
Yeah.
6 weeks.
You could do it a few times a day if you really wanted. Go to different banks.
Well, actually, the plasma, you
Then you
can
have
do
so many
plasma twice a
babies.
week because they put the blood that they separate the plasma from the cells and then they pump the cells back into you.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Thank
Which
you.
really hurts if the person misses the vein and just
No,
pumping blood into your,
Okay, we're done. We're done.
to
We're
your
done with
arm.
talking about
that
blood.
hurt. That hurt a lot.
I bet.
Yeah.
So you're really squeamish and you hate scary stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a big baby.
You don't like gory movies then?
No.
No?
No. My whole family is kind of like that, though, at least on my mom's side. Like, my sister and definitely one of my cousins are like we're like afraid of stuff in like a weird way. So like dolls with like the blinky eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Blinky
Oh,
dolls.
dude.
You know, those are freaky.
The first
we
time-
hate like China dolls as a family.
Dude, the first time that I saw one of those things,
It blinked at you.
we were doing something at like one of my friends' house, and it was me and 2 or 3 friends or something like that, and we were like playing hide and seek, but we were also like fucking around, and it was like a weird rainy day, and we were like trying to like freak each other out, basically, right? We were trying to like scare each other, and we were at my friend Victor's house, and we were all in his garage, and we were fucking around or something, and I picked up this doll. And I was like showing it to my friend, like, oh, look at this fucking creepy ass doll. And I didn't know that the eyes moved
blink?
as you like picked it
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Dude. I had this doll and the eyes were shut. I was like, look at this doll, fucking blah, blah, blah. And I picked it, I like moved it and its eyes went like opened up. And I was like, what the fuck? And I threw it like at the ceiling. And I was like, dude, the fucking eyes move. And he's like, yeah, that's what dolls do. And I was like,
Yeah.
dude, what the fuck?
This is your first time
Since
seeing a doll
when?
because you're a boy, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
why would you have that?
I didn't
Exactly.
really have like dolls like that when I was a kid though. Like I had like Barbies and like that was kind of it. I didn't do like baby dolls.
I didn't have baby dolls either. Not really. I had one American Girl doll, but I swear to God, this is like a trend for me as a kid. I didn't ever want. I told this in class, like what was on TV. Like I didn't care what was like trend. Like people would gift me things that were trending, and I'd be like, "Oh, this existed." Like So I had an American Girl doll, but like my cousin on the other hand had like every single one. She like collected them and like wanted them, and I was just like, I just like got them and was like, "Cool, now I have toys." Like I don't know. I never
I just
like.
had to have like more mobile stuff because like my parents like when we would get home from school or like on the weekends, my parents would basically like lock us out of the house. Like we had to like play outside until like we were allowed to come inside.
No shit.
So, and like we had like a backyard and like I grew up like on a street that had like I had a ton of friends who like I had all these neighbors who had kids and like we were like this like pack of kids,
Yeah, same.
you know. So
You were latchkey kids.
but yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. So like, it wasn't that big of a deal. But like even with like video games, like I've never owned like a video game console, and so like becoming an adult, like all the roommates I've ever had
Play video
and they'll
games.
be like,
Weird.
"Oh, you want to play?" And I'm like, I don't have like the hand-eye coordination for that because I didn't grow up playing video games, so I suck really, really bad at them. And it was always
Did you guys play? Because I did play video games because most of the kids on my street were boys, so we would play outside for the majority of it. But then once Xbox and Nintendo and stuff became a thing, we did do that. But like the most fun that we ever had was playing like kick the can and flashlight tag and that kind of shit. Did you do that?
No, we had there was this big mound of dirt we would like roll around in. And
I bet the parents
everybody had
loved
like
it.
rollerblades.
Is this in
and,
Florida?
like, this is in Florida.
You played street hockey? We played street hockey.
Yeah, we played street hockey. We all had like rollerblades and we'd build like ramps. Like my dad had this big pile of wood and we'd make like little ramps and jump off them. We all had like those razor scooters.
For sure.
Those were dope.
And like skip-its were like
Skip-its, yeah,
What
for
is that?
sure. It's
this-
a plastic ring around your ankle and then it's tied
to like a ball and you
yeah.
jump over
and you
it.
jumped over it. It was fun.
We did like all that stuff and like we like in my backyard like emptied out into this like lake that we thought was like a beautiful lake, but it was probably just a drainage lake. Like most in Florida, they're drainage lakes. And like we'd get out in like
swimming
a
in it.
canoe and like my friend had like a paddle boat, so we'd do all that.
Oh, that's cool.
Go smack the alligator lived in the middle of it.
Just one alligator?
There's always like one.
There's always at least one gator.
one chillin'.
Any water that is brackish or fresh water in Florida probably has at least one alligator like bouncing around in there. Sometimes they get too big and we'd have to like call animal control and they drag out like like a 7-footer.
Oh my God.
Where did like ate somebody's dog or something?
Yeah, when you growing up in Florida, did you ever know anyone that got actually eaten by an alligator?
Or attacked?
No, because like no one gets like attacked by like alligators. Like there was that thing that happened at like Disney World like not too long ago. But
The
that
kid?
but that was like when you actually hear what happened, it was like the dad and the kid who was like 2 years old were swimming in the lake that has signs, because I've been to that lake, that says don't swim in it.
Oh
like
my
you
God.
can like wade in it, but you can't. They were full on swimming at like 9 at night,
Oh
which
my
is like
God.
hunting time.
He wanted his kid to get eaten.
Yeah, and like, you know, the kid got like snapped, and then like, because like alligators, what they'll do is like when there's like a bird or like a raccoon or something that they want, they like snap it and then they drag it down and drown it. Mm-hmm. So it did that, and then like it was like, oh shit, it's a little boy, and like, you know, it wound like, you know, the kid drowned.
That's deep.
Or whatever, but you know, for the most part, like alligators, like they don't really give a shit. They like now with like Florida, like we kind of have to coexist with them. Mm-hmm. So like they kind of know what the deal is with humans, and we're too big for them to eat anyway. So the only way like people ever get like hurt really is like when they're doing dumb shit like that and they get mistaken. But like no alligators like coming for you. Like we used
What
to
about
like shoo 'em away and
crocodiles?
shit. Oh, there are saltwater crocodiles, but they're like super rare. Like I've never actually seen one. There's been one that's like, my parents live in the Keys now, and there was one in like their canal that like leads out to the ocean, and there was one that was like living in the canal like all this like winter. And I guess he disappeared, and like we kept going to just see him. My sister and my dad saw him like sunning himself, but he like, as soon as he sees people, they're real shy, and they were like, run away.
Crocodiles?
Shy
Yeah, and apparently they
crocodile.
sleep all day on like the bottom of like the canal, so people were still like swimming and stuff in the canal and not really worried about it. I didn't, though.
You didn't swim with it?
Yeah, because I usually swim in that canal when I come home, but I was like, nah, I don't want to
good.
get snapped.
I don't feel like getting tossed around by an
Yeah, I don't need to get like
alligator.
gobbled up.
Yeah, that's...
Because also that was the month I didn't have insurance. So.
So just to take extra
Trying
precaution.
not to tempt
Yeah, try
fate
not
too
to
much.
do that. Yeah. So, you know,
Cool.
gators.
Cool.
Gators and crocs.
Gators selling eggs and coming and
Yeah, it's the snakes you got to worry about in Florida, not the gators, really.
Oh, for sure.
Because they got coral snakes, and coral snakes are like one of the most venomous snakes in like the world.
Are they like
There's no
bright
rattle-
red?
Yeah, they're red, black, and yellow.
there's no rattlesnakes out there.
Oh, there are water rattlesnakes called water moccasins. They're a rattlesnake that
Heard of
basically
that.
lives in the water, like big, fat, like ugly snakes. And they're like more common than like anything, but like, I don't know. I guess they don't like bite as many people or something. They're like assholes.
I feel like
real dangerous.
I don't interact with wildlife.
You should.
Well, I'm just saying, like, living here, like, I don't. What do you mean I should?
Like you should go on hikes.
Yeah. you go like-
yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
fun.
you have to really put yourself into nature
Yeah, living in the city. Yeah.
for sure. I guess
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Trying to.
The only thing I really like interacted with when I was a kid was like a crawfish, and I don't even think that's what it was.
Oh.
Because we had like a stream, like there was woods, but it was just like a couple of trees and like a creek behind where I live. So we would go and fuck around in there, and there was like, yeah, it was like a crawfish, and we were like, well, we're gonna fish it out and like, I don't know, do something with it.
Didn't have coyotes.
Well, not that I ever saw. I don't think so, because I had a cat who was an outdoor cat, and I had
Oh,
two,
okay, yeah,
and they
yeah.
actually both lived their entire lives. So
Yeah, that doesn't happen out here.
yeah.
Yeah. Like I was
Coyotes
telling
just-
you, I had 3 different cats over the course of like 6 years, and they all got eaten before they
sucks.
reached 3 years old.
Damn,
It's sad.
that is
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. I didn't know how like far coyotes reach. They're all over the place. Because when I was like living in Gainesville, Florida, because I went to the University of Florida, like, there were coyotes there, and like I used to run at night, like at 10 at night, And one time I was running and just like a bunch of coyotes crossed the street, and I'm just like, oh, I gotta turn around.
Do coyotes attack people?
If they're small enough.
Yeah, and like
If people are small enough?
If someone's small enough, or if they like.
I'm glad I'm a full-sized person.
Yeah, like they
it's
would
also
attack
like
a kid
they're the
for
ones
sure.
that have like rabies and shit, so that's more like the concern is if they like snap you and they have rabies.
Yeah. And then if there's like multiple coyotes, then it's like there's a greater chance they're gonna fuck you up.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd see them on the beach all the time when I was in Chicago.
There's a beach in Chicago?
Yeah, because it's on Lake Michigan.
Oh.
So like Michigan, like when I was living in Rogers Park in Chicago, that's like the last like neighborhood before you get into the suburbs. So there was like a pretty calm beach, and I'd see them all the time like on the beach, like
Weird.
putzing around in the rocks, probably trying to get the cats because there were like all these cat colonies like in the rocks.
Oh.
trying to nab a cat.
You're so soft.
What?
You don't like blood. You don't like scary
I
things. And you love
am.
cats.
I love cats too, but you know,
Me too,
coyotes got to
yeah.
eat too.
No, I agree.
They sure do.
I'm just kind of afraid of a lot of stuff. I mean,
Really?
I don't know.
Like of what? Besides monsters and scary things.
Well, okay, it's more like my mind fucks with me more than anything. Like, but I've overcome it in a big way. To be honest,
Are you one of those people that can't differentiate like reality from fiction? Like when you watch a scary movie, you don't see like, oh, that's a guy dressed up in a costume and they're shooting a movie. You see like that's actually happening.
Well, did I tell you about my freak out with the haunted house?
No.
Where that started?
No.
So my dad, every Halloween,
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you did tell me.
I did
that.
tell. So when I was really young, my dad started doing haunted houses in our. He started it in our basement, so it was just for the kids of the neighborhood and like
Like the spaghetti, like these are guts.
yeah, we'd like crawl through boxes, and he had like a net that was like a big spider web. And so that eventually evolved into taking over our garage and whole backyard, and it was like a thing. Every Halloween, everybody would come to the haunted house.
That's cool.
And like all the neighborhood dads, kids would help and dress up, and then eventually they created like storylines and like plots and stuff and like themes. Anyway, so the first one that he ever did was in our basement, super janky, just like cardboard boxes and shit. And I must have been just like at that age where I was super sensitive to things. I don't know, because I knew my neighbor. I knew it was my neighbor. He had the most terrifying fucking mask on ever, and I knew it was him. But whatever, I had to crawl through this long. It was like a refrigerator box, and his head was the only thing on the other end that I could see, and I wouldn't crawl through it. I was like, I was trying to explain to them because I was too young to like be able to speak it out, but I started crying. They had to turn on the lights and like shut the whole thing off. But I was like, I understand that it's him, but I just can't walk. I just can't go through this scary tunnel into that scary face. Like I just can't do it. I don't know, and I don't know if that was like the spawn of it or if that was just the.
Hey, that's the origin. I used to
It
work
might
at a
be.
haunted house. When I first moved to Chicago, I worked for the Fear at Navy Pier.
Oh, what did you do?
For like it was only like during the month of October. For the
Obviously.
first 2 weeks, I was the eyeball nurse, which I had these like goggles that covered my eyes, and then they had these like eyeballs falling out, and they gave me like a Dixie cup full of blood that I had to keep dipping the eyeballs into.
Ew, weird.
And I had to lay on this like slab, and I had this like lever to like make me like poof, like like come up like when people walked by and be like wiggly woo. But I hated doing that because the like eyeball mask like hurt, like it was, like it like dug into my eyes. So eventually I got to be the gas room attendant instead. There was this like crazy room with all these like false windows and doors and stuff, and you wore like a trench coat and like
You
a
exposed
leather like
yourself to
trench
people?
coat. No, well, yes, that was it. No, and then like a full gas mask with like kind of like a veil like over like the rest of it, so no one could tell if you were like a boy or a girl or what you were. You just had this like big scary gas mask on, and there were all these little buttons that would let out like smoke and stuff, so that like people are like, ah.
That sounds super fucking
Like,
high tech.
Yeah, and
Sounds
like,
fun.
You'd
Yeah.
wander around and like bang on the windows and shit and like scare people. I got like punched in the face twice.
There was
Oh my god, my
you
sister
got
would do
concussed?
that.
I never got concussed. I just got
That's
like
good.
beat up because you would like jump out and somebody would be like, bow.
for a woman.
You know-
You've been hit in the head and
Multiple
thrown
times.
around so many
I've
times.
been bashed around. And then I didn't work it the next year because I had like a steady real job and I couldn't get to, like, you had to be there at like 4:30 and like I was working a job where, like, you know, I'd get off at 5, so I couldn't do it. But my friends worked at it, and it was like they changed it from being, it used to be in all these like shipping containers, like at the end of the pier. And this year, instead, they bought a barge and made it like this whole zombie. So everybody was a zombie, and it was like a zombie environment. And
that sounds so fun.
But the night of Halloween, like it was like, so it was on a barge that was off of the pier, like floating on Lake Michigan. And the night of Halloween was really, really stormy. Like, there were many tornadoes all throughout the city and shit.
What?
Yeah, like all these
Wait, where?
In Chicago.
Oh, okay.
And, like, all these, like, trees and stuff fell down on my street. And, like, I just went to a Halloween party. But what I heard is, and what this actually happened, the barge wound up sinking.
Oh my God. I knew you were going to say that.
Nobody was on board because it was, like, so rough that, like, they just couldn't do it for Halloween because it was, like, just too rough and, like, raining and, like, a whole mess. But the barge wound up, like, sinking. And then for weeks, all these, like, zombie, like, legs and arms were, like, washing up onto, like, the shore.
That's awesome.
And, you know, like, people are, because, you know, it's Chicago, like, shit happens in Chicago. They're like, I found an arm.
Shit happens
like,
in
calling,
Chicago.
like, the police and shit. And then
And they're
it's
like,
like,
no,
no,
that's
it's
a
still
fake.
from the zombie barge. It's just like.
That's so funny.
So there is a zombie barge that is still sunk. They never recovered the whole
I
thing
bet
because it was
going to
too
find that
expensive
would
to
be
recover.
wild,
Yeah,
dude.
like diving.
Yeah,
like,
that'd be spooky.
just on the side of Navy Pier, there's a sunken
That's
zombie
cool.
barge.
Yeah, so for a long time, actually, like during my childhood, we actually did the same thing that your dad did, except we would do it at my Uncle Rick's house, and he would just make his backyard like it was a very like it was a U-shaped like backyard, right? You walk in, you turn left, and then you come out, right?
Yeah.
But he would set it up like this way. Would have like a bunch of different like scary things, and then like the other side would you know all around it would just have like props and like me and like all my 5 or 6 cousins and like friends. We would all dress up and stuff and like do what you did, like fucking like sit like all still or something, and then like make
jump
it like,
out.
and then jump out at people and stuff. And like we used to love going to like Not Scary Farm, which is like. Do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, and
Not
then like
scary, but
It's
Not
not
Scary
Scary
Farm,
Farm.
but-
It's when they do their like Halloween Horror
Yeah.
Night.
yeah. We used to go to that, and then we used to go to like the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, like and watch scary movies. Like we loved horror movies, like growing up. It was just our thing. And so for a long time, I wanted to do that. Like whenever we would go to Not Scary Farm or like Universal.
Oh, you wanted to be in it?
Yeah, like I would.
You can do
there
that at
was
Universal.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it anymore. But like,
Why not?
because it's not an interest anymore. But like at one point,
Yeah, okay.
I kind of want to do it this
You
year.
can.
But in-
I know.
Fucking what's his face that we work with?
Yeah, I know.
Or not
I know.
work
They
with, it's
have
in our class.
Yeah, they have the like, but the auditions are until like in a couple.
you have to audition for it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
They don't just let
Well, I mean, I
anybody
had
in
auditioned
there.
to be at the Fear at Navy Pier, but it was
Yeah.
just like do a zombie.
Have you ever been to the Queen Mary?
No, the only like Halloween because like you know I don't have a lot of or
Time in L.A.,
well not
California.
you know October came up pretty quick after just moving here, so I didn't have a lot of money.
Oh yeah, what month did you move here?
I moved here officially in July.
Okay,
Got it.
you moved
So-
here a month before I did.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have like a ton of money to do something like Halloween Horror Nights, even though
Gotcha.
I worked at Saddle Ranch during that and like did the whole Halloween Horror Nights crowd. But I went to
Yeah.
Six Flags' version of it.
Oh yeah, that's another one we went to all the time. But yeah, there was a whole point in time.
that one
like,
kind of sucks. It was
it does.
like a little
It
bit.
it went downhill every single year.
It's not good. It's
Oh, that
like
sucks.
really, really half-assed.
No, it's like they went to like the 99-cent store and like got like clown masks or
Oh
something.
God.
It's not
It's-
that bad, but it's pretty bad.
It's pretty half-assed, and they put all the employees in these brown cloaks. But they don't like do anything else, so it's just somebody in a Six Flags uniform in a cloak.
yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah, that was actually the first time that I ever
But
went
it's
to
only
one of those.
$16, so what are you gonna do?
I mean, you get to go
not
on the
bad.
roller coasters, right?
Yeah, if
Okay,
you have a
that's
season pass, it's like $16.
Oh, that's not
Which I
bad.
do have a season pass.
Do you?
Yeah, because during Labor Day, there's a terrific Six Flags sale where you can get like a year pass for like $100 with parking included.
That's
If
awesome.
I wanted to get a Six Flags pass again, I'd probably have to use a different name. Because
Why?
I used the Six Flags, or I got a Six Flags pass one time, and then like only pay, like I was doing the payment plan, and I only paid 1 month, and then stopped paying it and didn't go back.
Oh.
I think
I
they
mean-
blacklisted me.
Knowing
Oh,
Six
so now you're like
Flags, I
in
bet
debt
you'd
with
be
Six
okay.
Flags?
Yeah, like I owe them a bunch of money.
Oh, well, yeah.
You might.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it's not
fair.
like super high tech getting like the pass.
No.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
no,
sure
no.
it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Your pass doesn't work though when Kylie Jenner decides to buy out Six Flags. Like she did the
you know
other
what?
day.
I bet that's not that expensive. I bet it's cheaper than you think it is.
Probably is. Probably
Yeah.
like $100,000.
I wouldn't know, but I'm just saying. Six Flags versus like Disneyland or Universal.
Yeah,
is
Disneyland
probably
to rent out
way cheap.
Disneyland is probably in the millions.
Yeah, for
a
sure.
day because of how much money they generate during that day.
Well, just
Oh,
to
yeah,
go
you have to
there for a
compensate
day is
them?
over
Yeah.
$100. That's
What?
why I haven't gone to Disneyland yet. Because it's so just to go for one day.
It's like 160.
It's like 100. No, not that. It's like I think
It's
maybe on a weekend. It's
119.
like yeah, it's
Oh,
like
okay.
120, 110 depending on like the day. Because you
Yeah.
can go in like the middle of the week, and I think there's some days where it's 90, but that's like the lowest you can do for one day.
Yeah.
And then their fast pass thing is different now. Now it's like a bracelet, and you have to load your fast passes on before like days before you even go,
What?
or weeks.
Yeah, one of my coworkers was talking about that.
Yeah,
they
it
have
used to be like
the-
just the machine, and when you wanted to go, you'd
they
just go
changed
get
it.
the fast pass, and like you'd come back like an hour later or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is like a whole different system. I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
too
yeah.
much.
But you can do the fast pass and not pay for the fast pass.
You never did.
Yeah.
Oh.
But you can now you can pay for, you'll get a limited number of fast passes too, and you can like pay for more.
Per visit?
Yeah, and some like rides are so like, crazy with it that you have to like do it weeks and months in advance to get your fast passes
That's
for it. So I'm
absurd.
like, this is like too much. And then parking apparently
That's
is
why
like
I don't
really
get people have
expensive too.
season passes to Disneyland. I'm like, there's not even that much to do there, and
I
most
had a
of
season
it
pass for 5 years.
stupid.
I've never
That's
gone to
fucking
Disneyland. I've done Disney World like my whole life, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
never
sure.
did like Disneyland.
That's why Universal.
Disneyland's
I
dope.
have a season pass, and that is it's great. I just wish they had the Hulk ride like they do in
Dude,
Florida.
I wish they had Islands of
Mm.
Adventure.
They do have Islands of Adventure.
At Universal Hollywood? They
Well,
do not.
I guess it's not called
They do
that.
not.
They did not. But they have like
Absolutely.
Jurassic Park and shit.
Yeah, but dude, Islands of Adventure was still to this day. I went there when I was 12 in like 2001 or 2. It's still to this day like the best theme park I've ever
Well,
been to.
what's
You think?
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
Why is it?
Yeah.
'Cause
What-
I just really, at the time, I was like super into like Marvel
Yeah.
and like comic books and stuff, and then just like that dragon ride, and then like,
That dragon ride, though. if
did they
you
take
go-
it out?
No, it's still there. Now it's a Harry Potter ride. It
Oh,
used to
yeah,
be
the-
Dueling
Oh.
Dragons.
Dueling-
Yeah,
Now
that's
it's-
what. Yeah.
Now it's like the Triwizard Tournament. It's the same roller coaster. They
It is. They just
called it Harry
painted
Potter.
it. Yeah.
But I just liked the vibe of that place, and just everything about it was just like so fucking cool. To
Well,
me.
now it's super cool because it has Harry Potter in both parks.
Yeah, and you can
Yeah.
take the train
It's
in
so-
between.
have you
it.
been?
No, I've
Oh.
only been. I went to it when Harry Potter Land there like first opened up, when it was just at Islands of Adventure. But I haven't been to like the last time I was at like Disney World and like Universal and all that was like 2011.
If you go back, the Gringotts ride is really good.
Yeah.
As well. And it's so cool the way that they laid it out because we went because my sister and roommate are obsessed with One Direction, and they were doing the Today Show like outside the park. They were
Yeah.
doing like an interview and a concert thing, so you could go. All you had to do was pay for the parking, and you could like watch for free. So we flew to Florida for this event.
Wow.
And I was like, I'll just tag along because I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I was like, I love obviously the theme park, so that's why
Yeah.
I was there. So right after the thing, everybody else that was there for the interview just like left, and we went straight to the park, and it was pretty empty. And we did both parks, and we. Oh my God. So we're in the second one because I'd done the regular Harry Potter and I hadn't seen the new one yet. So we're mulling around. There's like the night bus. There's a guy there who like talks to you. And then there's like one telephone pole. But like we didn't know where the rest of the Harry Potter stuff was. So we like walk around this wall that looks like you're going into a hallway for the bathroom, and you walk through that, and then it's just like the city of London, and you're just like, where the fuck? There was no sign for this. But they like really, the way they do it, it's like, this is how it would be if you were in the Wizarding World. Like, it kind of just appears out of
Like
nowhere.
They do a good
If you
job.
were in the Wizarding World,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're both big Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
you are.
So don't talk shit.
I'm not talking shit. I love Harry Potter.
I just saw on your, I was looking at your Facebook. What was that, The Harry Potter improv?
Yeah, there was a show we
What?
did in Chicago that was
The House Cup or
yeah, it was called the
something?
House Cup. It
Yeah.
was a drinking Harry Potter show. Before that, it was like a debate show. It's called the Wizengamut,
Oh.
where we like would debate like topics or whatever. And then it turned into the drinking show, which like both are really popular, but the drinking show was like would sell out like
Oh, for
every
sure.
time. It was like the only show I actually ever got paid for, like to do in like
Oh,
Chicago.
really?
That was like an improv show. Only $10 a show, but still,
That's money.
you'd never get paid to do improv.
Yeah. So what was, because you were like a prefect? Was
Yeah, you
everybody a prefect, or how did it work?
So like we would have like a prefect from each house like competing with each other, and I'm
Okay.
always Slytherin.
For sure.
So I would always win for Slytherin. I won a lot of the ones I went in because
Yeah.
it was a competition.
What's a prefect?
A prefect is like not the head. You have the head boy and the head girl of every house, but then for each year, well, not each year, from 5 up. So
5, 6, 7?
Yeah, 5, 6, 7. You have a prefect from.
They're kind of like
year.
Is that a Harry Potter reference or
Yeah, that
a?
is a
it's
Harry Potter
specifically.
I thought it
It's
was
like
improv reference.
like an RA sort
Yeah,
of.
kind of like your RA. Like they have like their duties.
Yeah.
To like the house.
They have privilege. They can go into a special bathroom.
Yeah.
They sit in a special place on the train.
it's like maybe it's like a boarding school thing.
Yeah, it might be.
But it's kind of like an RA.
Yeah.
And
So the prefects compete. Is it just 4 people in the show?
it would be 4. It's 4 people, and then like there was the host, and then there would be 2 panel judges, and then there would be the Muggle liaison.
And what would they do?
The Muggle liaison would sit there, and like throughout the show, there's what's the Triwizard Cup, which was just like a solo cup.
Nice.
You could like comment on like the thing, because we'd have to like compete by like we'd have to like come up with like answers to things and debate things and do like bits and stuff like that. And like people could like write down what they would have done or like a joke or something, and they put it in the cup, and like throughout like each of like the segues, the Muggle liaison would like read the best ones. And those would go, you'd write down what house you were, and those would go for points towards like Slytherin or whatever. And at the end, like you're trying to get the most points for your house so that you win the house cup.
Cool. I only saw one clip of you doing the Dolores Umbridge rap.
I've never watched that.
So good. I mean, I was like dying. That was so funny.
I know it went well, but I've never watched that clip. I like tagged myself in it and then moved on with my life.
Yeah, so that's actually how you guys know each other, right?
Improv.
Through improv at
yeah.
UCB.
Yes.
Yeah. How long have you been doing improv? Because you obviously moved here.
For years?
I've been doing it since like college, so like since 2010, I guess.
Okay.
But in college, like it counts, and then it also doesn't count because it's the blind leading the blind. Like it's all just like a bunch of kids who bought like Truth and Comedy and now are teaching it to other kids. So
Is that a book?
Yeah.
Truth and Comedy is like it's the book that Sharna Halpern and Del Close, who's like the father of improv, like wrote. Like there's
Gotcha.
the
The
UCB
father of
manual
improv.
that like. Oh, sorry. There's the UCB
Smack that
manual
bitch.
that didn't come out till like 2013 or 14 or something like that. But that's like the original book is Truth and Comedy. It's a horribly boring read in my opinion, but it does like outline like basically how to do
Is improv a newer craft, or is it just newer like popularity wise?
So kind of sort of like improv, people have been doing improv forever, even if they didn't like say they were.
Right.
But like back in the day, improv was like used as like, well, when you fuck up in theater and like you have to keep on with the show, like this is how you do it. And there's a lot of like exercises that were improv, and in like the 70s, like Del Close and a bunch of other comedians were like, wait a second, what if we did this as a show and not just as like warm-up and
Warm-ups.
exercises to generate, because like Second City's been around for a long time, and Second City's like kind of their thing was we use improv to come up with ideas to make a sketch show. So like Second City's like bread and butter is like their sketch reviews. and you generate the material by doing like improv.
But improv isn't the
But improv
show.
isn't the actual show. Like,
Right.
they'll do an improvised, like, third act, like, if people want to stay, like, at the end of their shows, like, their main shows. But mostly it's, like, it's using improv as a tool to write a show. But then, like, Del Close was like, well, what if, like, improv was the show?
Is that the guy that wrote that book?
Yeah, and
Okay.
he came up with, like, he started Improv Olympic in Chicago, and then the Olympics tried to sue them for calling it Improv Olympic, and now it's just I.O.
Oh, okay.
And so you had I.O., and UCB came from that. It was like the UCB4 all went through, like, I.O. in Second City, and then created UCB.
Gotcha.
There's your history lesson for
Thank
today.
you. Well, I've been thinking about it a lot lately because I was watching Step Brothers the other day, and like so many people that I know who they are because of UCB. Like 2 of the founders of UCB are in that movie. And like I've seen the movie like 1,000 million times,
Yeah.
but now that I watched it after learning about all this stuff, I was like, oh my God, like that's an improviser. That's another fucking improviser. They're everywhere. Like I didn't realize that most.
A lot of character actors that you'll see in shows like are like pretty well-known improvisers at a lot of different theaters. Like they get
Right.
a lot of work being like, you know, the guy trying on pants and like, you know,
yeah,
like
just
the
like
guy in the supermarket.
extra or just 1 or 2 lines.
A lot of like character actors are like improvisers a lot of times.
Yeah. So that, I don't know, it just makes, now that I'm like doing classes and stuff, it makes it feel not as unattainable because I'm like, well, I'm kind of doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I could.
You were already doing that like before you even knew what improv really was. Is that what you're saying?
No. Now that I'm taking improv classes, it's like less scary the jump to like go in, I don't know, like film and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Like, because I now feel comfortable on a stage, so I'm kind of like, well, I can kind of do anything.
Yeah.
Because I don't know,
I went to my first improv show with you two and your other friend Matt, and that was like what, a month ago or something like that, and 3 weeks ago.
yeah.
And when I went like and I saw it like for the first time like live improv, it was fucking hilarious.
Right.
But what I left with when I left what I took with myself was like that like it. I mean, I've been doing that forever with like friends,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's not structured
And
with your friends,
and then
but
somebody came along like that guy that wrote that book and was just like, well, you know, we can structure this like, you know, fucking around basically, you know.
Well,
Yeah,
even
and
And
like,
like made it into an art form.
like, have you guys ever seen like Whose Line Is It Anyway?
yeah, of course.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that's all just like improv games that a lot of those games have been used as like exercises for whatever and ever. And then somebody was like, what if you just put this on TV? And, you know,
Let's
that's
get Wayne Brady in here.
that's kind of what they did. You
Yeah.
know? And then you
Well,
have like a
it's-
hit TV show that's pretty easy to generate. I mean, that's, you know.
I find that anybody that is an improviser is like, they're like my favorite people. Because we've
That
had.
is an improviser?
Yeah, like a lot. If you're a good improviser, like I most likely will like you as a person. Just me personally, because like there were people in our 101 class that weren't very good at it, and not to say that they're bad people, but I like didn't click with them. It just kind of was. It kind of just went that way. I
What
was like,
makes somebody good at improv and what makes somebody bad at improv?
bad at improv is when you stand on stage and think. You go, what do I say next? Instead of just saying whatever comes out of your fucking brain.
Yeah.
That's what improv is. It is improvised. You go, I said this to you. You say something back to me. And you just da-da-da-da. And you just play the scene as it comes. You don't go, what would be a funny line? Let me think of something. Because that kills the scene. And a lot of people did that.
Well, also there's like I think there's a good amount of people that will take like an improv class with like because they want to be like quicker on their feet or they want to like get over their stage fright or something. But like there like some people will then keep doing it and I'm kind of like, well, you already did it like just to do it. Like you don't have to keep throwing hundreds of dollars at this thing that it seems like you really don't like doing. Mm-hmm. And those are the people you see them go through all the classes and it's like it doesn't really seem like you enjoy this. Like you get like real like clammed up and stuff like that and like I'd never understand that. Like if you don't like doing it, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to keep going through it. You're an adult.
Yeah, for sure.
You can quit anytime.
I think some people move here and then they like try out acting and it doesn't work out and they're like, well, fuck, I guess I should probably try improv, right? And then they're like,
Is that what happens?
No, I don't think if that is what happens, that's a terrible idea because you'll never make money doing improv.
Yeah.
No, but like maybe acting doesn't go well because they like don't know how to like act, on stage. So they're like, well, I heard improv will like help sharpen that tool.
The thing is, like improv, if you're an actor, it's a really good skill to like put on your resume and whatnot, and just have it as like a skill, like again as like a means to an end, and not necessarily like I want to do shows at UCB, but more like, well, if I forget a line in a play or need to like pull from something, it's a good skill to have. And some people take it just for that, and that's totally fine and good.
I'm glad that I came from, because I went to a traditional acting school first and then came to improv. And now that I have both of those skills, I can understand acting a lot better. Because before it was so in your head because you're like, I have to be this person, and everything is scripted, so you know what they're gonna say, but you have to act like it's the first time, and that's actually the hardest fucking part.
Whoa, I never thought about that.
Yeah,
when it came to acting.
Yeah, you have to go all in with whatever your intention in the scene is, even though you're not gonna get it. You have to act like you are. So what improv did was, it was so much easier for me to just jump in a scene and start doing it versus thinking about how I was going to do it. Because the problem with actors is you have to make a choice. Like for auditions and stuff or in scenes, you have to make a choice. But the problem is there are so many choices you could make, and that's what fucks everybody up. Yeah. Whereas in improv, there are 1,000 choices you need to make, but you make them a lot faster.
Yeah.
And you don't think about it once you do.
Well, it's also, and then it's over, and it's done, and you'll never do that scene again, so you don't have to worry about it so much.
But it also teaches you to be in the scene and be present.
In the moment.
Exactly, which is, a lot of people don't get that either.
Yeah.
They like to sit outside the scene because they don't want to be vulnerable, and it doesn't work. You have to be your
with
true
improv?
self with acting.
Oh, sorry.
Or I haven't seen it with improv. I'm sure people do that, but with acting, a lot of people don't know how to get emotional and stuff, and so they'll sit outside of the scene, and that's like a metaphor. They're not literally doing that, but you can tell they're not engaged completely. Whereas in improv, it kind of teaches you to just be in the moment with the person that's on stage with you, which is cool.
I have a good acting tip.
Yes?
Yeah, if you're trying to do some real emotional stuff, kind of look like shit and want to be all crying and look like you're ugh,
just get concussed.
Nah, dude, get hungover.
Yeah, dude, hungover.
So
really?
I had to do this. My friend is a lawyer now, but when he was in law school, they do those mock trials, and I did a bunch of the mock trials, being the person on trial, and you had to be real upset and emotional and shit, and I just got hungover for every single one of them. Well, and then I was told I was the best.
What?
Really?
No. I've heard that too,
you.
Because when you are hungover,
you're actually in pain.
Well, it's your what is it called? You're you give less fucks. That's not the way to say it, but when you're hungover, you just don't care, and you're drained of energy, so you're more susceptible to getting emotional because it's not like your guard is down. I can't think of what the fuck the word is, but your inhibition, you're less inhibited by your brain because you don't give a fuck as much. So a lot of people, I don't know, I heard this where somebody was like, oh, I didn't get any sleep last night, and they're on set and their partner was like, oh, you're so lucky, because you're gonna be easier to shake up if you're less on your game. You're gonna think less, and it's all about not thinking.
Some good bad advice.
Yeah, right.
My mom would be a great actress because she just cries all the time for no fucking reason.
Ooh.
That doesn't mean she's gonna be a good actor.
Yeah, I know, but she'd be good if she had to cry in a scene. She could just turn it on and off. I'll be calling my mom sometimes. I'll call my mom sometimes, and we'll be in the middle of a conversation. She'll just talk about some random shit, dude, and then just be like, "Yeah, so anyway," and then just start crying, and I'm just like, "Why are you crying?" She's like, "I don't know." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that.
Yeah, she wouldn't get you a good actress, to be honest.
I don't know. I feel like acting people think is a lot easier than it is.
Fuck no.
No, a lot of people are like, well, they're just walking and talking. I can do that. It's Yeah, well, so my friend's film last night that I saw was great. The acting was great, the editing, everything was perfect, but they did a short film right before it that this guy who was actually, I recognized him as soon as I walked in. He's been on like CSI a bunch. I can't think of his name, but so he was like a sort of named actor in this short film, and it was like one of their first, you could tell, because the acting was, besides him, was god-awful. And the editing, it was just so bad that
the movie you saw? Your friends?
No, I just said the short film before his.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, the acting was so bad that you're literally cringing and watching. And it was like a gay couple that like had to do like some romantic stuff because that was kind of the plot. But like, and I have no problem with gay people, but if a girl and a girl were doing it or a girl and a guy were the same acting, I'd be like, ugh, stop it. Like, it was so uncomfortable because you could tell they weren't really in a relationship, and that it was just, bad acting is so bad, and people think it's so easy.
Yeah.
I saw some picture the other day. It showed a still of some show that's going to be on Netflix or something like that. And it said like, how can I tell that the acting is so bad just from this picture? And it was just like... And it was just like
You
some
can.
guy like this, and then like the two people in front of him were just like standing, like super, just like looking. They had the dumbest looks on their faces, and you really could tell.
You could tell they weren't thinking anything.
Yeah, you could tell they're like really trying to like play a person or something. You know,
so
it's
bad.
weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what have we covered today?
We've covered a lot. Oh, I wanted to ask, what is your like? So you're obviously doing improv and everything. What is your goal? What are some things that you would like to accomplish?
So like the whole reason I moved here from Chicago, because I was doing a lot of improv in Chicago, way more than I do now. I was doing at least 5 shows a week. And but I wasn't making any money. I was just doing my job and then going and doing a show every night. And I was kind of like, well, how do I make... Because you want to make what you love your job. So the whole reason I moved out here is because there's more opportunity to try and get work for doing creative things.
Right.
I mean, I still have a day job, but, you know, like...
Don't we all?
Yeah. So I want to get paid for doing creative things, basically. And
what does that like look like? Is it just improv, or do you writing and?
Well, it can't be just improv. A lot of improvisers have to learn that, because the best improviser in the world a lot of times still doesn't make money.
Right.
So yeah, some like acting, like writing, things like that. And I mean, I used to just say what I want to be is I want to get on Saturday Night Live. But what I've learned is that's a small sliver of people get to do that. And there are like a ton of other comedy and writing and things like that would be just as fulfilling. So
do you write at all?
I do, yeah.
Yeah?
Uh-huh.
Are you working on anything right now?
I'm working on like a sketch packet.
Ooh, what does that mean?
It means it's kind of like a portfolio of sketches. So you'd have like different ones. Like I'm working on one that's for specifically writing for like a talk show, like a Jimmy Fallon or like Jimmy Kimmel or another Jimmy. And that, you know, you have like your pieces, like here's like a list piece, here's like, you know, like an audience, a monologue, stuff like that, because there's a team of writers that write all that for every show.
Right.
And you got to show like variety, that you can write all these different ones, like, you know, your like weekend update, kind of like quick jokes like that. And then like a sketch packet would be like a portfolio of sketches. So you'd have, you know, kind of like your opening sketch that would be like a topical sketch, like a fish out of water one, where it's like, you know, the weird character sketches, things like that, just to show like variety of what you can write.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And then you send it in to these different talk shows and whatnot. They have like submissions where you send in your sketch packets, and then hopefully one of them picks you up if they like your stuff.
Damn, I did not know that's... Is that like the way to get a writing job, or is that just one way?
Well, the best way to get any job is to know people in the business.
For sure, yeah.
But I don't, because my parents are
Jewish?
Not in the business.
Parents are Jewish. Yes.
Wait, you are Jewish,
I'm
right?
not Jewish.
Oh, fuck. Really?
Yeah. Thanks for.
You said Schwarz.
Yeah, I have
Piece of shit.
I have
I've been
a
calling
Jewish.
Jewish this
I
whole
have
time.
a Jewish last name, and I think people looking at me would assume I might be Jewish.
Oh, I assumed.
But we don't know that for sure. Waiting back on my sister's 23andMe results.
Oh, I got
because there's a
mine.
whole foggy World War II history going on in my family.
Oh.
But that could just mean we're Nazis. I don't know.
So
Like
I
back
hate-
in the past,
I
not
hope
now.
not.
I hate asking people this because people ask me this all the time, but what are you?
What am I?
Yeah.
I'm Lithuanian and German.
Really? That's super interesting.
So
That's cool.
I mean, again, like both.
Yeah, you could be a Nazi.
I could. Well, both.
I think I could be
timelines.
too because I'm German.
Only my grandpa's timeline do we know what happened, like, past his life, like, with the great grandparents, and all the other ones, like my grandma's and my pop, their like timelines are just like dark. Like after coming to this country, like it's like, yes, we came from there, and like that's all we know. Because they had like that whole like, we're in America now we're Americans. Like my pop changed his whole like last name and his first name and everything.
Wow.
Like, he changed his name to Samuel Wilkes to appear more American. Like as soon as he got here, he's like, bye Lithuania.
Wow, there must have been some shit going on if they wanted to cut ties like that.
I don't know. Don't know what
Where the
happened.
fuck is Lithuania?
Lithuania is in the Baltic states. It's like you got Russia and then you got your like Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia
Okay.
smashed on the side. They're
Cool.
like they're the ones that like Russia's been like in the past like you're part of us, and they're like
No.
They had like a whole USSR kind of deal going
okay.
on for years and got like smashed in like World War II
Holy
and
shit.
all
that's
that.
nuts. Well, I apologize for calling you Jewish.
Well, don't apologize. I think it's great for Jews. Nothing wrong with that. From
No, there's
South
nothing
Florida,
wrong with
so
the
for
Jews.
all I know, I don't know.
Maybe you should-
I could have some Jewish in me.
I definitely
and
do.
That's fine and great.
Great grandmother.
People think I'm Jewish too.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Dude, I don't know. People
it
also
was
think
a
I'm black.
big
So.
part of history, so maybe it's like everybody has a little Jew in them.
Well, there is some truth to it. Like my mom's real dad parents or some shit are like part Jewish.
Yeah.
But like of the descent, like not
Yeah.
of the religion and shit.
Yeah, same.
So like there's like a small portion of me that like actually really is Jewish. But since my hair is curly, people just assume that I'm Jewish for some fucking reason.
But it's not
There's
like
a guy at work that
I don't
literally
know.
says, "Hey Jew" to me. Like that's what he calls me.
that guy's a
And there's
piece of
another guy
shit.
that's actually Jewish that he calls him Jew too, but we don't work at the same time, so.
I hate
Yeah.
where you live or where
Corona?
you work. Yeah, I really don't like that
The
area.
worst.
Well, I'll let you guys know when my sister's 23andMe. I got her
Please.
that for Christmas.
Yeah.
And,
And it took her 4 months to do it.
yeah, it took her forever to do. She just did it.
What do you
and
have to do,
sent
like
it in.
piss?
You just
You know,
you
it's just like
spit in a
saliva. You
tube.
spit in a tube, you send it there, they tell you what your whole
I got it back pretty
genealogy
quick.
is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
you did one?
Yeah, I did it.
Oh,
I
cool.
did. I went to Ireland, and then as soon as I like stepped into the fucking country, I was like, I swear I'm from here. Like I just
Were
felt.
you?
Not
No.
specifically. Well, the problem is like my mom's side of the family is a couple of generations from being off the boat. Like my dad's mom was from Italy, so we're like connected very closely there. But then my mom's parents and parents have been here for a couple of generations, so I think our.
Yeah. Like I'm second generation on both sides.
Oh, okay. So it's like I think mine is a little bit more dispersed, so there's just more variation. It's all European, but it's from like all over. So it's like they could have been like Vikings that went to Ireland for whenever and then, went somewhere else. So it's possible, but it wasn't like a big chunk was from Ireland, which I thought might happen. But I definitely think I'm from a Viking descent, or at least I want to be.
Why? Because you're tall?
Because I'm a big Norwegian looking lady.
You're not
I got
that big,
asked.
though.
I am 5'9".
She is tall.
She's tall. You're not
You're-
like big.
But
though.
that's what she means. Like,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
if anything, the Nordic states are like nice and slim. They have a very low obesity rate,
Oh, that's cool.
but they're all
Good to
like
know.
6 feet tall.
No,
Oh,
I was
okay.
leaving the gym the other day and just fucking minding my own business, of course.
Hey, you a Viking?
He goes, "Are you Swedish?" And I was like,
Fuck.
"Excuse me?" He was like, "Are you Swedish?" And he had like an accent, and I was like, "Where are you from?" And he was from like Nicaragua or something. And then he was like, "We should get a drink sometime." And I was like, I would say yes, but I'm gonna say no. It's like just because I'm talking to you doesn't
Yeah.
mean I have accepted that I know you're interested in me. I can feel it. Like I'm not. I didn't give it back to you, so no, thank you.
Yeah.
I was like, "I'll see you around at the gym.
Boom, boom.
Bye bye."
I've gotten
weird.
Persian a good amount.
That's-
when
I
I
don't
did
see
the
that.
That seems
March for
not
Our
right.
Lives, and I was talking to this guy, and he thought I was, and I'm not.
Oh, well, I know
Or not that I
Persian
know
people, and I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, there are like white-looking Persian people.
Yeah, there's every type of everything, so that's
Yeah.
fair.
Well, Persian is different from like Arab or Middle Eastern. It's a totally different thing, just in like a similar region. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Well, we've been talking for, what was it, 2 hours now? An
Yeah,
hour?
we should wrap this up. My
Mm.
laptop's about to die
God damn it, why don't you plug that thing in?
because I forgot it in my room.
Oh my God.
Forgot the
All right,
charger.
well, thank you for talking with us, Jackie.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
I'm so
thanks.
happy that you came on the podcast.
Yeah.
We
Where
learned so
where
many
can people
things.
find your like Instagram and like if you have a website or anything?
I don't have a website. That's on my list of things to do. You can follow me on Instagram, but I think there's only 4 pictures that I was tagged in. I've never posted a picture.
So
Good.
you're not into
You can find her
self-promoting
on
at all.
Facebook.
Yeah, but it's all under my name. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm just Jacki Schwarz on Instagram. It's same thing.
Schwarz, not Schwartz.
Yep.
There's
Schwarz,
the,
SCHWARZ.
It'll be in the title of the video, so they don't need to.
And then, yeah.
do you have a YouTube channel or anything?
Facebook. I've started my origami folding channel, but it's not doing great. So
Wait,
I don't
wait, wait. Where
feel
do
like
you-
I'm gonna.
Where do you
plug that
post
yet.
your hiking videos?
Nowhere yet because I haven't posted it.
Oh, okay, good.
But eventually on YouTube.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe once you have some stuff online, we can have you back.
Yeah.
And then we can be like, look, there she is. She's
Yeah,
online now.
That's good. Yeah, do that.
And Matt is doing a podcast, our friend Matt, and you were doing the second season of It's Always Sunny with him.
Yep.
So that'll be somewhere.
Yeah. And then eventually I'm gonna
Oh, you're doing that
do a
with him?
podcast as well. Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to do, what was it?
Wikipedia hole.
Wikipedia hole. Is where, what do you randomly...
Discuss Wikipedia pages because you can do this Wikipedia random generator that'll pull up a random page for
and
you.
then just start talking about
Yeah.
it. That's awesome.
But haven't
I
gotten
wanna do
that
that.
started neither. Got a lot of things on my plate.
Well, glad we could illuminate all of your
Yeah.
things to do.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
haven't
Well,
done anything.
again, this is the Have a Seat podcast with Betsy Hayes and Anthony Pacheco.
Oh no, it's Anthony Pacheco and Betsy Hayes. That's what it.
Oh, excuse
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I was just trying to say my name first.
I'm just kidding.
Anthony Pacheco and Betsy Hayes. Anyway, find us on iTunes and YouTube at Have a Seat Podcast and Have a Seat Podcast Instagram as well. And we are
That's
out.
it.